Hi, this is Erica, Vixen, Gavin, coming to you on TV Confidential.
Another one, Miss Winter?
Well, I really have to go.
Now, what good is one drink without one for the road? Besides, I haven't finished telling you what a great little car this is. Remember when we were riding on the highway this morning? I told you about that new gear shift in there? Power, the pickup to it? Did you feel it was a light car? Easy to drive?
Yes. Tell me more, Mr. Dunn. I just love to be talked into things.
Ed Robertson welcoming you to this week's edition of TV Confidential, a radio talk show about television that begins its 18th year as a radio show / podcast with our program this week. Our second hour will include part 2 of a conversation that began last week with Lawrence Luckinbill. Lawrence Luckinbill, the actor known around the world as Hank in the original Broadway production and the original theatrical release of The Boys in the Band. Also, Sybok, Spock's half-brother in Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, and Glenn Garth Gregory, the reluctant hero, in the Delphi Bureau. The Delphi Bureau ran for just 8 episodes, but it originally aired on ABC in 1972, but in many respects, its portrayal of Glenn Garth Gregory as a reluctant hero was ahead of its time. We'll ask Larry about that and more when we play part 2 of our conversation with Lawrence Luckinbill in our second hour. We hope you stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we'll begin our first hour with a look back at the life of Joi Lansing. Joi Lansing, the legendary blonde bombshell, best known for her pinup photos and her work in B-movies, although she did appear in many top television shows throughout the 50s and 60s, including Perry Mason, I Love Lucy, Love That Bob, and the Beverly Hillbillies. Plus, she worked with Orson Welles on 2 occasions, including the famous tracking shot sequence that opened the first 3 minutes of Touch of Evil. Originally a contract player with MGM, the studio system made Joi Lansing a star, but it also created pressures for Joi to maintain the image of physical beauty that ultimately impeded her personal life. Joi Lansing died from breast cancer August 7th, 1972, 53 years ago this week. Joining us now is our friend Joseph Dougherty. Joseph Dougherty, Emmy Award-winning writer, producer, and director of such acclaimed series as 30-something, Saving Grace, and Pretty Little Liars, not to mention the author of such books as The Screenwriter's Companion and Rod Serling at 100. Joe's latest book.
There are too many J's going on around here.
There are far too many J's that are good for us right now. Joe's latest book, Comfort and Joy, is a part biography, part filmography, part literary fantasy, all parts appreciation of Joi Lansing that makes the case that Joi was not only a far better actress than most people gave her credit for, but was the type of actress who could make even a 7-second silent bit in which she appears on the far edge of the frame interesting to watch just because it's Joi Lansing. And at Comfort and Joy was originally published in the early 2000s. However, Joe not only re-released the book recently through Tucker DS Press, but he updated it to include a postscript that directly relates to our other guest this segment, who we'll tell you more about in just a second. Joe Dougherty, welcome back to our program.
Hi, thank you. Yes, this is there's a lot of karmic threads in this one, so I can understand. It takes a while to unpack it.
It does. Well, like I said, I mean, I'm not a screenwriter, but I liken my introductions as stage directions because I like to set the picture as best I can, so that
at rise.
That's right. Also with us via Zoom is our friend Alexis Hunter. Alexis was Joi Lansing's lover and companion for the last 4 years of Joi's life. They met circa 1969 on the set of Bigfoot, the last movie that Joi Lansing appeared in, but had to keep their relationships under wraps from both their families and the motion picture industry because in 1969, the notion of Joi Lansing actually being a lesbian would have gone against the marketing department's efforts to play up Joi's image as the ultimate desire of all men. Alexis's book, Joi Lansing, A Body to Die For, available through Bear Manor Media. Alexis, welcome back to our program as well.
Oh, hi, Ed. How are you?
Oh, it's good. This is the best part of the day. Best part of the day is when I get to do my show and talk to some of my friends.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So happy to be back with you, my dear.
Yes, and since both of your last visits, we picked up a station in LA that covers about 50% of the greater LA metro area, including as far south east as Palm Springs, which is not too far from Alexis Hunter territory. So,
oh, very cool.
Yeah, so we have a lot more ears that we will reach, and a lot more ears who will hear us talk about Joi Lansing. Although, Joe, you never met Joi,
no.
But if you read Comfort and Joy, you will feel as though Joe did through his unique portrayal of her through the eyes of this narrator in this marvelous book.
I think the goal of this conversation today is to try and get to or just try to talk a little bit about the absolute amazing way life can turn out. I wrote Comfort and Joy, in the early 2000s, and I set myself and I limited what I wanted to write about it, and I had this great experience, and it was wonderful. It was my first novel, and I felt very good about it. And then I think it was about I think Body to Die For came out
around 2014.
Yeah, a couple of a good 5 or so years after my book, and it was, as it was to me, as it was to everybody who read it, a revelation. There was this complex, fascinating, courageous story that I had no idea of when I was writing my silly little book. And the fact that Alexis and I met and have talked and have spent a little time together because of this. I just find this remarkable. Ed, you're a doctor of philosophy. Would you mind explaining this to me?
How did you and Joe first meet, Alexis?
I can't remember exactly how it happened, but somehow or other, Joe read my book, and somehow or other we connected, and then we became friends, and we've had some absolutely wonderful conversations about Joi. And Joe is wonderful. I love his book about Joi. It's really fabulous.
In many ways, your books really do complement each other, because one commonality they both have is, while Joi is sort of the backbone that drives the entire story, each in your own way tell your story.
Right.
And we get to understand and we get to appreciate Joi in unique ways in both your books.
Yeah, I think you get two very different points of view here that allow you perhaps to triangulate a little bit about this woman. I mean, there are cases in my book where I'm actually writing about events that Alexis was involved with, but I had no idea she was there.
Yeah.
And which I find remarkable. And my version of this is I think, Alexis, you and I have a mutual friend, but I can't remember which one it is.
I can't remember who it is, but whoever it is, I'm very grateful.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because I was terrified that I was a little nervous that Alexis would take exception to my book, since it was so fictionalized and so about other things, that she might have felt I was legitimately thought I was poaching on her story. But here's the sales pitch. Folks, why don't you buy both books?
Yeah.
and figure it out for yourself. And again, Ed, I'm going to go back to something you said. Joi Lansing was on so much television that there's actually was a night in the late 50s when she was on 2 networks at the same time in 2 different anthology series. And this is a time when there were 2.5 networks. And she was on 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I realized this when I was going back over because what happened to somebody who switched channels during those plays? Because, perhaps I could see somebody calling up and saying, there's something wrong with my set. The actors are leaking over onto the other channels. She just fascinated me from when I was a kid, when I was growing up, when she was Mrs. Superman.
Yeah, me too, Joe.
Yeah, it is, again, it's another strange connection for these books is that we both started just looking.
Yeah. I remembered running home from school to watch her on television, just thinking, oh my God, that is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, person I've ever seen in my life. And always just fascinated with her. And it was just, we're talking karmically. This is just the odds of being a kid in Kansas, moving to California, being on working on the set as a Bigfoot, as a Bigfoot monster. I mean, it was true Beauty and the Beast. I mean, I was the Beast and she was the Beauty, so it was just phenomenal. I mean, my God, the odds, Joe. Do you believe the odds?
But I love the way that when one of my great memories from your book is what it was like to speak to her for that first time and to find out that she was accessible. The way you talk about those meetings on not the greatest movie ever made, but the fact that she kind of met your expectations.
Oh my God, she was just, I couldn't believe how sweet she was. She was totally unpretentious, so kind, so, it was mind-blowing to me how lovely a person she was. Just so dear. And we became friends. Immediately, we just became friends.
Comfort and Joy by Joseph Dougherty. Comfort and Joy available wherever books are sold through Tucker DS Press, tuckerdspress.com, as well as Amazon.com. Joi Lansing, A Body to Die For by Alexis Hunter, available Bear Manor Media, as well as Amazon.com. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
One more item. If you're starting a company, particularly one that is in an emerging market, you know that averting any sort of legal dispute is crucial to your business plan. Our friends at Tectonic Law offer an array of services that can help you avoid and preempt future litigation while also developing and protecting your intellectual property and intangible assets. Tectonic Law serves the needs of a host of emerging industries throughout California and beyond, including industrial designers, beverage makers, artists, farmers, retail stores, health practitioners, wellness experts, cosmetics manufacturers, nonprofit organizations, innovators in sustainable practices, and libraries. Go to tectoniclaw.com to learn more about how Tectonic Law can help your business thrive. tectoniclaw.com. Rock solid representation for groundbreaking industries.
Hi, this is Johnny Whitaker, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
The one I love belongs to somebody else.
And going back to what Joe said a little while ago about the karmic thread that brought you both together, Alexis, in many ways, the joy that you share in Body to Die For, it affirms a lot of the assumptions or hopes that Joe's narrator aspires to as he spends this weekend taking a deep dive into all of the films and TV appearances of Joi Lansing. He has this hopes that, or he thinks that there's a lot more depth behind that person than she was given credit for, and you affirm that in the pages of your book.
Yeah, she was an amazing human. Probably the sweetest, kindest person I've ever met. She never said anything unkind about anyone.
You know, and to be an MGM contract player and to struggle to make a place for yourself in television, which at the time had was not short of beautiful women. It's true. I mean, we're obviously, Alexa and I are both we're crushing on the same woman here, but you look at an episode of Love That Bob, and by God, she's in 125 episodes of the Bob Cummings show. She's there, and she's there with a room full of models. You don't see them.
No.
You see her. It's amazing.
She had the magic, Joe. She had the magic, as you know.
It always seemed, Can you talk about one thing I've noticed about it when I was going back and working on the book is that every time she made an entrance, I mean, okay, the sexy girl is coming in. Her attractiveness was effortless. She didn't push it. She didn't kind of bump and grind it. She didn't have to. She
played it straight. That was what set her apart. She, even in her comedic ability, she played it straight. She was not the goofy one. She was the straight guy in this one, and her timing was impeccable.
Her timing, yes, that's absolutely true. I mean, again, it's like this is a woman who learned from Bob Cummings and Lucille Ball, and it's true. She knows how to land a joke. She knows how long to take on a pause.
Right.
And it's interesting. The only times she's unconvincing is when she's been asked to play very stupid.
Yeah, and she couldn't play stupid because she wasn't stupid. She was not a dumb blonde. Well,
it's like a couple of times where she's in there where she's supposed to be really, really dopey.
Yeah.
Not buying it.
No. You could tell by her delivery that she, there was intelligence there because she was extremely bright. Most people don't know how bright she was. Smart cookie, really smart.
Yeah, I refer people. I believe you can find it on YouTube. Is the half-hour film she made of Orson Welles called Fountain of Youth.
Yes.
It's one of the. It's and as I keep saying, so I don't think you work for Orson Welles twice if he didn't like you.
Yeah. No, he liked her a lot.
Yeah, I could, and it's like the Fountain of Youth is a really great half-hour. It was meant to be a pilot. It failed as a pilot, but actually won a Peabody Award as a freestanding drama.
Right.
And if I'm remembering it right, I can't remember now. You feel the inside joke when he went up to her and said, "Well, I want you to be this girl in the car, and we'll hear you, but we may never see you. But this entire picture is about you getting blown up."
Yeah. Oh my God.
And it's like I'm a little tongue-tied about it because, as I say, it's been such a strange, fascinating, confirming journey. It really. Edward, don't mock me.
I'm laughing with you.
Oh my God.
Comfort and Joy by Joseph Dougherty. Comfort and Joy available wherever books are sold through Tucker DS Press, tuckerdspress.com, as well as Amazon.com. Joi Lansing, A Body to Die For by Alexis Hunter, available Bear Manor Media, as well as Amazon.com. One thing I learned, Joe, through reading Comfort and Joy is that and this is another one of those karmic experiences. The image of Joi that you use as the cover of your book, Alexis, is Joe's favorite picture of her.
Yeah, it's it's the picture I asked you if I could use because I knew it was your cover, and I thought maybe you might not want it to show up somewhere else.
No. That was Joy's favorite photo of herself. So,
Wow.
I remember. I think it was I think that was like our first conversation. We talked about that photograph.
Right, and one thing you said something about, you thought that I might be offended or whatever with your book. No, my whole purpose is I want Joi to be known by everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I want her to go on. She wanted more than anything to be a star, a big star, and hopefully through your book and my book, more people will get to know her.
Well, I hope so, because I mean, as I said, I went back, basically thinking about Alexis is the reason I went back to look at my book and talk to the publishers about doing it again. And it was the publishers basically took the idea and ran with it. It's a hardcover book, and I'm finally able to put illustrations in it, which is something
Yay.
I wasn't able to do the first time around. And it's just a dandy book.
Comfort and Joy is a dandy book, as is Joi Lansing, A Body to Die For, by Alexis Hunter. Take a quick time out. We'll talk some more with Joseph Dougherty and Alexis Hunter as we continue our appreciation of the life and career of Joi Lansing. We come back here on TV Confidential.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-222-0511. 800-222-0511. Again, that's 800-222-0511.